there will be another boxing megastar, and so happenly, if they around the same weight, is going to
stop it on the feet.
You and Conor. You and Conor. What you thinking? You and Conor. That's the same weight.
Don't kick me, man.
2-fight deal, MMA first, boxing second. I said, I know you have an extensive background and balls the size of a Bengali tiger. They're asking for a fight. It's going to be hundreds of millions on the line.
Hundreds of millions, dude? You can't risk. Like, get your ass whooped, man. Like, he actually has a wrestling background as well. They're that terrified of MMA. Hundreds of millions. Come on, man. That's genuinely ego. Yeah, he just doesn't want the image of him out there of getting his ass whooped and showing how frail he is.
Second undisputed champion in 3 weight classes when there was only one champion back in 1938 with Henry Armstrong. That's a lot of stuff.
You hear that? You hear that?
Which do you think means
all
the most?
And all of it. It all goes hand in hand.
Don't kick me. That's what Terence Crawford joked when the idea of fighting Conor McGregor came up. But behind that lighthearted remark is one of the wildest stories in combat sports right now. A potential UFC White House level showdown between 2 of the biggest names in fighting. Crawford, fresh off the biggest win of his career, is now standing at a crossroads. With limited opponents left in boxing, the doors to MMA and high-stakes super fights are swinging wide open. And the name at the top of that list is none other than Conor McGregor.
Do you think there'll ever be another huge UFC crossover boxing like McGregor Mayweather?
Yeah, for sure. There will be another UFC megastar. There will be another boxing megastar.
You wrestled.
Right.
Growing up. You get big bags where you at now, but you one of the few. I think you could sprawl and brawl. You decide you want to slide through and just
they not.
You decide you want to slide through and
Trying to throw elbows?
No.
Trying to throw knees?
No, I'm not trying to
the
do
right
that.
fight.
Stop it on the feet.
You and Conor. You and Conor. What you thinking? You and Conor. That's the same weight.
Don't kick me, man.
Conor
kick
do
me,
kick.
Conor.
Conor do kick.
And so happenly, if they around the same weight, is going to happen.
Y si es contra alguien como Crawford, mucho mejor. Primero,
when the right time is right.
For a long time, whispers of a crossover bout between Crawford and McGregor have been floating around. It felt like fantasy talk at first, but recent developments have made it sound more real than ever. On the Pound for Pound podcast, Kamaru Usman and Henry Cejudo pointed out that McGregor is actually in the same weight ballpark as Crawford, making a fight between them physically plausible. Crawford's response, though playful, caught everyone's attention, showing he isn't dismissing the idea.
Crawford is very slick. He also has a wrestling pedigree. So we're talking back and forth. It's like a 2-fight deal. Like Crawford, they're talking to me here about you and me. A 2-fight deal, MMA first, boxing second. I said, I know you have an extensive background and balls the size of a Bengali tiger. They're asking for a fight. It's going to be hundreds of millions on the line. What's up? And he goes, I don't want to take a kick, or I don't fancy taking a kick off Conor McGregor, he said. I don't know what's happening. There's loads of things on the table. Very exciting announcements are coming from McGregor Sports and Entertainment and Riyadh season. Very, very huge.
I heard that Turkey offered you a 2-fight deal to fight Conor McGregor. One in the ring and one in the octagon. Is that true? Is that true, bud? Is that true, bud?
Man, listen, man. Hey.
You gonna fight Conor McGregor, dude?
I told Conor.
In the ring, in the octagon, bud?
I told Conor to himself.
You'll beat his ass?
I said, hell no.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, me and Conor, they called me. You know what I mean? They called me and they offered me to fight. And I talked. Me and Conor got on the phone and we started politicking, you know, trying to figure something out. And I just told him.
Did you see Bud Crawford got offered McGregor for an MMA and boxing match? I did see that, and he turned it down because he didn't want to get leg kicked. I'm so glad that story came out, though. Shout out to fucking McGregor for pulling that off for MMA. Right? Fucking great, dude. That is such a good story for MMA.
So, I told Conor.
In the ring, in the octagon, bud?
Crawford, they're talking to me here about you and me. A 2-fight deal, MMA first, boxing second.
Is that true, bud?
I said, I know you have an extensive background and balls the size of a Bengali tiger.
They offered me to fight and I said, hell no.
Crawford and McGregor revealed that Turki Al-Sheikh had offered them 2-fight agreement, with one boxing, the other in MMA. McGregor said they would have been paid hundreds of millions. And then Crawford turned it down and said, boxing superstar Terence Crawford said he rejected a deal to fight UFC great Conor McGregor because he didn't want to participate in a mixed martial arts fight.
The hype isn't new. Conor McGregor himself has spoken in the past about a possible 2-fight deal, one in boxing and one in MMA. He even recalled having direct conversations with Crawford, claiming his response was respectful but open. And here's the surprising part. McGregor didn't just talk business. He praised Crawford, calling him a Bengali tiger and admiring his skills not only in boxing but in wrestling as well. Coming from one of MMA's biggest personalities, that kind of respect shows just how seriously McGregor takes Crawford as a competitor.
Man, I'm not getting in no octagon with you so you can be kicking me and elbowing me and shit. And so he get to laughing and shit. He like, man, I respect that.
Yeah.
It was like, man, because you respect my sport just like I respect your sport.
Night that he says he thinks he should and will retire from the sport. But I don't know who else is out there for Crawford. I mean, he's only going to want to fight for 20, 30, 40 million. But who is there to fight for that kind of money? I'm not sure, you know.
The rematch, you think the rematch would be of interest?
I don't think Canelo will want a rematch. Yeah. I think there's a rematch clause. I don't know, but
there's not. Yeah.
So, you know, it's very unusual for Canelo to go into a fight without a rematch clause.
Yeah.
But for me, I just can't see Canelo going, yes, I want to run that back.
But it gets even crazier. Crawford himself admitted that he's been approached with an offer to fight Conor, and the offer came from none other than Turki Alalshik, the influential Saudi advisor behind some of boxing's biggest recent events. Crawford laughed it off, but the fact that the conversation even happened proves this is more than just a rumor. When asked about stepping into the octagon, Crawford joked about not wanting to be kicked, but he left the door cracked open, suggesting that if the money and circumstances are right, he's willing to entertain it.
I know he wants to fight in the UK. It's a huge market. There's not many other guys there that people would like to see fight more.
If I don't like somebody, if I want to fight them for whatever reason, I would have been like, hey, what's up, man? What you think about me and you fighting? I'm not going to go hide behind the keyboard and then be like, oh, I knocked this dude out, this and that and this. I think that's fake. I definitely think he's trying to clout chase. He's not nowhere near on the level of Conor McGregor. Let's be real.
If you think a Crawford versus McGregor fight would be the biggest combat sports event of all time, hit that like button and let me know your prediction in the comments.
Terence used to wrestle. According to the fellow boxer, is the only boxer that could go over to MMA and they would expect him to win. I'm not ready to tell you that Ilya could get this fight. I do not imagine at all Dana would entertain this idea, but Dana White did not entertain Conor versus Floyd until he did. That was very unique, and it wasn't the UFC champion against a guy that was going for 50-0. It was the greatest mouthpiece in MMA with the greatest mouthpiece in boxing. That is what got that fight to happen. Ilya is not there, but he's on the cusp. Ilya is not Conor McGregor, but he's on the cusp. I could see him becoming that kind of a star.
When you measure Topuria against Conor.
Floyd made a lot, obviously, to fight Conor.
He's not nowhere near on the level of Conor McGregor. Let's be real. Stop it. Don't ever compare him to Conor. Conor was here. He's here. Like I said, I don't know this guy. I never seen this guy fight. And I watch a lot of MMA, you know what I mean? Maybe, you know what I mean? I'm slipping. Maybe he's a good fighter, you know what I mean? I don't know, but I honestly never seen this guy fight, for sure. I've seen Conor McGregor fight a lot of times. It's night and day. You know it's night and day. Don't ever try to say they on the same level. What are we talking about? What are we talking about? We're not talking about that. Tell that guy to, you know, keep up the good work in his career.
But here's the problem. Crawford finds himself in a tricky situation. After the biggest win of his life, the list of viable boxing opponents has started to shrink. If a rematch with Canelo doesn't happen, he might be forced to think outside the box to keep his momentum going and land another mega payday. And that's where the other options on the table come into play.
You have interest in fighting him.
For what?
Money.
What money would I get out of fighting him? Tell me how much I'm gonna get out of fighting him. Jake can punch with that right hand. Like, I seen him, you know what I mean, up close in person. Like, dude is big. He's not as slow as people think he is, and he can punch. You know, that's why a lot of people know, like, there was times where, you know, him and Tyson was in the ring and he could have, like, laid it on Tyson.
The first path leads back to boxing, where a clash with the winner of Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn could bring in huge numbers, especially in the UK. The second option comes from the UFC, where lightweight champion Ilia Topuria has been on fire and has made it clear he wants a piece of Crawford, even sending threats on social media. The hype around a potential Topuria fight is real, but Crawford himself doesn't seem very interested. He brutally dismissed Topuria, claiming he'd never even seen him fight and that he's nowhere near on the level of Conor McGregor.
Terence Crawford, you just made my list.
Would you fight Jake Paul?
Nah.
Come on now, bro. All these pound for pound fighters are too scared to fight me. They need 200 million to do it.
We got 200 million for you.
I'm fighting Jake Paul.
And Shannon Sharp, you can get it too. No choking though.
I want to ask you a little bit about the history that you made tonight, and I want your opinion on which means the most to you. You became a 5-division world champion. You became the 4-division lineal champion with Mayweather and Pacquiao. You became a 3-time undisputed champion, the first ever in the 2, 3, or 4 belt era. And you became the 2nd undisputed champion in 3 weight classes when there was only one champion back in 1938 with Henry Armstrong. That's a lot of stuff.
You hear that? You hear that?
Which do you think means the most?
And all of it. It all goes hand in hand.
And then there's the name that makes hardcore fans roll their eyes but makes promoters see dollar signs: Jake Paul. Love him or hate him, Jake is one of the biggest draws in boxing right now. His Netflix fight against a 58-year-old Mike Tyson drew an insane 65 million viewers. For Crawford, it could be a relatively easy payday compared to facing elite-level boxers or dangerous MMA champions. Jake has already called him out, and while Crawford has dismissed it, the money could eventually be too big to ignore.
Can you describe what it all means to you to have, you just made like a whole resume of stuff tonight?
It means a lot to me because, you know, anybody can be a nobody, like I said, you know, and that's all they say I've been fighting is nobodies. So what can they say now? Somebody tell me, what can you say now?
You can say congratulations.
That's it. What can you say? Any words? Thanks.
At the end of the day, Terence Crawford is a man at the top of his game, standing on the edge of what could be the most unpredictable chapter of his career. He's got the respect of Conor McGregor, the interest of Turki Alalshi, the attention of Jake Paul, and the challenge of Ilia Topuria. Whether he steps into the ring, the octagon, or entertains another wild crossover, one thing is certain: the fight world can't take its eyes off him. So maybe that "don't kick me" line wasn't just a joke. Maybe it was a teaser for the next great combat sports spectacle.